because you get all caught up into this. Gold is valuable, and I'll just dig anywhere anyway. Okay. Two things. One is because it's heavy, it wants to penetrate down through the lighter material. The average material that we'll be digging out there is maybe 3.5 times heavier than water. The gravel, you know, the sand, the gravel, the silt, the boulders that we're rolling out of the way, that stuff is about 3.5 times heavier than water, which makes it 5 times lighter than gold. 5 or 6 times. Gold is 5 or 6 times heavier than the stuff we're digging. That's a lot. It'd be enough if it was just twice as heavy. Just to give you an idea, put your thumb on, put the weight of your hand on your knee, on your leg. Everybody do it. Come on. And just relax it and get an idea of the weight of your arm on there. Got it? Now push down 5 times harder. That's gold.
That hurts. Yeah.
That's gold.
That hurts.
Extremely important if you're looking for it. Okay? So it wants to penetrate down. Okay? But this floor is made out of concrete. Concrete is maybe 3 times heavier than water. Okay? But if I had this gold nugget here and I dropped it on the floor, what's it going to do?
Stop.
It's going to stop because the floor is solid. It won't allow the penetration. Right? But if we got in here with some jackhammers, you know, when we jackhammered a bunch of it up and we ran it through a mill and crushed it all down into sand-sized particles or even particles this size, and we put them in a tub and we put a bunch of water in there and we started shaking that tub and we dropped that piece of gold in there, what do you think it would do? It would penetrate so fast we'd hear it hit the bottom of the tub. That's because it's so much heavier, all right? You gotta get it. Okay, so here's what happens. Let me back it up a little bit. I'll give you a couple definitions, all right? Bedrock is the Earth's crust, just like this. We're going to be all over bedrock today, so you're going to see it out there, okay? That bedrock goes around the entire planet. It's 180 miles thick, okay? It's the Earth's crust. It's the surface of the Earth's crust. We're going to be all over it today, okay? And for the type of mining that we're doing, that's the bottom. There's other types of mining that go into this. We're not doing that. We're getting the gold that has broken away naturally over the millions of years and been washed down the rivers and is sitting over top of bedrock. You guys know what bedrock is? You're gonna see it today out there today. You're gonna be all over. It's gonna be hot. Okay. All of the stuff that is sitting on top of bedrock is called sediments. All right, rocks, sand, silt, minerals. You know, everything, all the stuff that's sitting on top. Call it sediments. A lot of you guys know this, right? From your geology class. Okay, and we're here in the mountains. We're here in the mountains. Sometimes it's hilly places, you know, but where we are, it's mountains, okay? And over time, all the different forces of nature work on these mountains. Wind, rain, a lot of water, freezing, animals, vegetation, you know, nature. And slowly but surely, it disintegrates the bedrock. It's also called country rock, you know. And when the big storms come in, that stuff washes down. It gets washed down. And over time, there's erosion, and the mountains get smaller, right? Maybe one day it all flattens out, I don't know. But right now, we've still got mountains. Okay? And that stuff ends up in the bottom. What's in the bottom? Water. Water follows gravity, flows with gravity, okay? So we got water. There's the river over there. It's in the bottom. And it's flowing downhill and eventually ends up out in the ocean, right? Or in the lake. In our case, in the ocean, all right? This stuff, once it ends up in a waterway and goes through a major flood storm. I'm not talking about a winter storm. I'm talking about a major flood event. You know, if you watch TV, you know, it always seems like there's one happening, you know, where the water goes right through towns and takes out the houses and the roads are gone and the bridges. The last one of those here was in 1964. In 1964, I think all but 2 bridges were washed away. Major storm event. 60% of the highway was washed out. Okay, we're talking 40, 50, maybe in some places in the canyon, 60 feet of force, raw energy on the level of nuclear power. Okay, we're talking about Mother Nature at its, just like that tsunami in Japan. You see it washed out a whole, just unbelievable force. Okay, when that happens, it picks this stuff up on the bottom of the waterway and moves it downstream. Can you see how that can happen? We call that a major storm event. The last one here was 1964. The one before that was right at the turn of the century. Okay? And then, so that stuff gets washed downstream and it's getting washed across the bedrock. Okay, it's coming down, right? And because gold is heavy, as that stuff is all in like a slurry and movement, where do you think the gold ends up? Stuff is all rolling down. It's all in movement. Just like it's going to be going through our sluice boxes tomorrow. You're going to see it. Okay? Because gold is heavy, 6 times heavier than the average, it's washing down at the bottom of all the other stuff. Can't you see how that would be? That's physics, Where else would it be? 6 times heavier. Okay? If I took a bunch of styrofoam, if this was a water column, right? So let's just say we got 10 feet of water here. Okay? And I took 6 pieces of styrofoam. Go to Costco, buy a computer, get the packing out, nice white styrofoam, cut it up into 6 pieces, counted them 1 to 6. Each one is $1,000 if you get it. If you get it up, you get $1,000 for each piece, okay? We have a contest. And I take that right to the middle of the water column, and I let it go. How many of you are looking for the styrofoam on the bottom? Right? Oh no, it's going right up. Okay? Gold is so heavy, it'll hit the bottom of this moving material about 5 times faster than that styrofoam will reach the surface. It's just how heavy it is. Okay? And you gotta get this. You gotta get this. Because it tells you what you're looking for. What are you looking for when you're digging a hole? Think about it. The bottom. What do you think you're going to find in the middle? How much gold is going to be in the middle of that?
Very little.
Shouldn't be much. There's a rare exception. There's a rare exception. It's a rare exception. It's very rare. And it just happens to be where we're going today. Fred and I are digging right in the middle. It's virgin stream bed. It's just loaded with gold. It doesn't happen everywhere. Most places, you're going to find the gold at the bottom of a hard-packed flood layer. Most places, you're going to find the gold at the bottom of a hard-packed flood layer. This is the first of 2 things. One more time. Most places, you're going to find the gold concentrations, the high grade, the stuff that fills up bottles, at the bottom of a hard-packed flood layer. So, let's talk about what a flood layer is. Here's how it happens. You're going to see flood layers today. That's the cool thing. We're going to take you right out there and show you. Okay? I'm just giving you the theory now, but when we get out there, I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you.